She ain't even here.
That's the tweet Whitfield.
And we have our illustrious, what are you, engineer,
Producer.
Engineer, producer, brought up already. Yeah,
extraordinaire.
extraordinary. I take it.
What is your radio name?
My radio is DJ Manny Man.
Who?
DJ Manny Man.
Oh, Jermaine Main, Manny
Yeah,
Main. I get it.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I had to, be creative.
I'm finna tell y'all a little outside stuff about me and Jermaine. Like we live next door,
Yeah,
and there would be, when I say whole concerts coming out of their house. I know
Yeah.
you played a couple. Your
Yeah.
brother played a couple of instruments.
Yeah.
Your sister used to sing.
Sing,
Your
yeah.
mom could
Yeah.
sing.
Pop sing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember the whole concert coming, and
Yeah.
you on a Sunday when they got everybody left around the same time because we was all going to church at the same time. And then we would come, the two neighbors would come back, and there would be concerts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody just playing the somebody be on a guitar,
Yeah.
somebody be on the drums.
Full band.
It was a full band.
Full band. Yeah.
And it was so like, we don't like them, but as soon as the music started,
Everybody blocked.
we pulled the window up and we don't like them, but oh yeah, they sound good. It's so funny how when we're little there's like animosity for no reason.
No reason.
And then when we get older, it's all those little things that actually made our childhood special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember one time there was I don't know if you remember this, but there was one time a bully down the street was messing with either me or Sean, my brother, I don't know. And I remember your mom coming out, don't be messing with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember all of you have a pretty large family.
9 of us.
Yeah, it's 9 people, and it was only my brother and I. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we had the backup of the right outs, and it was like 9 plus their parents, plus my parents, and all of a sudden the bully kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And then we went back what is it, Hatfields and the
McCoys. The Hatfield and the McCoys.
For no reason whatsoever.
Reason at all.
But there
we
was
stuck
always
together though when somebody came against either one, and we stuck together. But then we was just,
people tried to break in the house. We were right there, like we chased them away. So it was like really weird. And then I have such good memories of your mom and her Cadillac. She loved her Cadillac.
God, Cadillacs everywhere.
Yeah. So and my dad loved his Cadillac.
Yes,
so it was
I remember.
One year they would get the newer Cadillac, and then next year we would copy them and get the other Cadillac. And I don't even know if it was copying. It was just
being intrigued and liking. Like, oh, that's nice, man. I want something like that.
Yeah, and then it seems like it was a big deal, but really, if you think about it, that was just neighborhood.
That's what I was about to say. It was real neighborhood.
Right. It was like we could mess with them, but nobody else can mess with them. And this was our neighborhood down the street. Angie lived there was like 3 Angies on our block.
Yeah.
And we all knew everybody on our block. We'd say hi if something happened. We rolling down there to see what happened, So I guess even though at the time you didn't think you were close to these neighbors.
Yeah.
But these were our people. You couldn't mess. And then if you saw them out in the street somewhere,
like, man, that's my neighbor. Or that's, such and such.
Actually, your sister Keisha is the one that made me really want to go to college.
Wow, yeah, because she went,
She went to, but I was older than her, but she was so focused on going. I think she ended up going to lacrosse or something like that.
She went to lacrosse.
And I, when she was talking about it, it was like her senior year. And I was like, oh my goodness, I want to go too. Yeah. And I think she is one of the reasons why I said, no, I can't let her leave me. I'm leaving too.
Yeah.
But this is just, and the reason that we tell these stories is because there are a lot of neighborhoods like that. There are a lot of people like that. As soon as that neighborhood, that person that moves, they move, all of a sudden something missed in the neighborhood.
Well, to be honest with you, I think we need to get back to putting neighbor back into the hood, because now they just call it hood.
But again, like we had this conversation I don't know if you were here when we talked about it, but hood is not a negative thing for me.
Right.
It's family. It's who you are and what you are. Those people that I still see, this we know the history of this gas station across the
Yeah,
street. It's a
right here.
Clark now,
Yeah,
but remember it was a Shell
it
at
was a
first,
shell. Yeah,
and
it
then
sure
it
was.
was a Mobile, then
Yeah,
it was I think a
Ooh, it was ugly
Sicko.
during that mobile era.
yeah,
Oh,
Ooh,
it was bad. The
yeah,
I
Shell,
know that for a
and
fact.
I
yeah.
remember the Shell was 90. I remember seeing it was 89 cents a gallon.
89 cents a gallon. Yeah.
It's like
And
this
we
is
knew
our
the
neighborhood,
owners.
huh?
I say, and we knew the owners and spoke
Yep.
to the owners and had a relationship with every
Yeah, and if you
business
didn't
owner
have
over here.
money, he knew y'all better come back and pay me next week. You
Yeah.
never paid him, and then sometimes you did, and he gave you free stuff.
Happy New Year,
The
family.
the Ghost, y'all know is Galaxy, but the
Yeah.
Ghost was a Cole's
It was a
food
Cole's
store
food store.
for a
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
long
long
time, and
time.
then it was I think it was Alina's
Lena.
then,
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Lena's. It went to
and then
Lena.
it turned into Galaxy. We know it's Ghost, but we call
Yeah.
it Galaxy in the hood, you know. And there are so many things. The U.S. Bank was right there. Now
Yeah.
it's
Sure was.
it is so many things that we have on this neighborhood. WNOV was actually down
Down the street.
on Titonia, and then it moved here.
Do you remember right on the corner at nighttime they used to have that
That nightclub,
disco? Yeah,
yeah,
it was a club right there
it was
that
a
was safe and going on like it was every Friday and Saturday night.
You
and
talking about You
Sunday.
talking about Zarco's?
No,
No.
across the street, it's an empty
Oh,
building right now,
Yeah.
and after there was a man named Don
mm.
who bought the building, and then he had a disco, and it
Yeah.
literally
It
was a
was a
disco. You
disco.
should see that. I remember the big puffy
Yeah.
hair. This was late
Late
70s,
70s.
early,
Yeah.
Oh,
all
yeah.
through the
Oh,
70s.
okay. This is some real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
this was a
Yeah.
real
Like
disco,
Yeah.
and
for
he
real,
made
for
Real
real.
disco.
he
Yeah.
lived downstairs, and he made the
Yeah.
upstairs a disco.
Yeah.
And when we talk about it, we used to watch him, and he come
Yeah.
in and out. But then every Friday, Saturday night, down,
Yeah.
you would hear all kind of disco music.
See the
Then
lights coming through the
right,
window.
then he left, and it became a mosque.
Yeah, sure did.
A mosque. And then they moved down the street, and then it's been empty. And I saw some renovations being done next week. But these are the neighborhoods that you know.
Yeah.
I know this neighborhood. When Perkins was off over across the street, not where it is now on 20th and Atkinson, but it
Yeah.
was over at on 19th
On
here in the
19th,
corner.
yeah, sure was.
And then we have seen every basketball player there was.
Yeah.
They all came to Perkins, but
Yeah.
we lived in the neighborhood. So if we sat there long enough, we could see. I remember who is that?
Todd Day, Glenn Robinson,
All
Tim
of them. They used
Thomas,
to all stop in here.
Irvin Johnson.
No, but I remember who is that one? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to
Oh,
come,
yeah.
and he used to come around here
Yeah.
even after he was off the
Traded.
Bucks
Mhm.
and,
Yeah.
and go there. These are the people that we actually saw because of Perkins,
Yeah.
which is the neighborhood place. We have all these soul food restaurants, but
Mhm.
Perkins is still open. It's
Yeah.
only open for breakfast, but it's still open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we spent 10 minutes talking about all that, but these are the neighborhoods that
Pioneer.
that
Yeah.
we were here. And I think yesterday we were talking about the entrepreneurship of black people. That was what that was. You went to the neighborhood, you had a little diner. I remember going to a diner somewhere on Atkinson where it was just a little dive diner. You go in, it was like a what is that called? A George Webb's.
Mhm.
It was like a George Webb's, but you could go get Southern stuff. And
Yeah.
I remember, and still to this day, there was an argument, and I never understood it until I got older. Somebody had ordered some grits, and somebody said, "Can I have some sugar?" I can't believe you putting sugar on your
Oh,
grits. That's the
yeah.
only way to put, eat your
Yeah.
grits. It's butter and salt. No, it's sugar. So it's still the fight. Is it butter? Or is it sugar?
Right. Whatever way you like them out there.
Hey, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Oh
However
no,
you
but
like it.
some people feel like you could get
Because
your
it depends on what
yo.
you're eating them with too. Because if I'm doing shrimp and grits, I like mine a little more savory, a little more like I don't know, feeling.
Nah, we just talking about regular old
if
grits.
I'm
So
doing
you
it
put
with
some sugar
with
on it.
bacon or something, yeah, I want some sugar and grits maybe. But sometimes shrimp and grits, I like a little savory, a little
Sauce.
creamy, saucy. Yeah,
What about sugar?
$25 grits.
Oh, sugar, rice, and butter. That's
Yeah,
Of
something
course,
that
sugar,
I
rice, and
do.
butters. But
Yeah.
then on the other side, I've had it with the salt and pepper or the
Ugh.
season.
Yeah.
Now I'll do it with the
Ugh.
seasoning. I mean, last week I had maybe some rice. I put some onions in it, some mushrooms
Nice.
in
Okay.
it, and,
Okay.
and kind of just made some like
Because
chicken.
I'm telling y'all, I'm a married. I'm gonna get this man married off. Somebody is going to be a beautiful. He's gonna be a beautiful
I'm gonna
husband.
be out here
to
cheesing in
someone.
the community.
Right.
This is my wife, my lady.
But let's talk about civic engagement and politics. There is one important, very, very important aspect of politics we have to talk about today. And that is, and I'm a little against this, but Governor Evers has called a special election for um, two Senate or two seats. The one that involves us is the seat that was vacated by now Judge Lena Taylor. This is an interesting concept of how they're going to do this. So I just want to lay down how this goes. All right. So Senator Taylor, or when she was Senator Taylor, she was up for reelection and her term would have ended in January. But because she left the seat, she resigned from the seat, that means that this district, the 4th district, does not have representation right now. So from the time she took that job until somebody else is elected for her new or for her new term, it's empty. Now, I believe if they would have done this earlier, I get the concept, but now they're going to have a special election. So that person can go from, I believe, August to January, and then the new person who wins the election, it might be the same people, but then the term starts again in January, and that's a 4-year term. So we're going to pay for just one election for the 4th district, for somebody to be in. Now I know I believe that it's still staffed. I mean, the 4th CD is still staffed, and it's rare that during election time they have what do you call special sessions. So they could call a special session at any time. That's true, but I'm wondering what the motivation is for this. I mean, I know we don't have representation at this point, and I say we because I am in the 4th Senate district, so it would be, this is me too. So what they are planning on doing starting today, anybody who wants to run for this term has to collect 200 to 400 signatures, and turn them in by June 3rd, which is the exact same thing that if anybody who wants to run for the full term has to do. So I guess technically they could just go around and have the same people sign for both because they're two separate elections. But literally think about this. You are having right now, there's 2 people who are running for the full term, and as of right now, they've put their papers in, and that's Representative Dora Drake and Representative Lakeisha Myers. But let's just say those are the only 2. There may be more, there may not be more, who knows. But if they want to, and this is up to them because they can still run for the seat without running in this special election. But there's a special election, so they'll have to collect. And then I believe those signatures are due on June 3rd. If there is a primary, the primary, and I'm looking through because I know there's the primary would be, so they have to turn in they have to file by July or June 4th. And then I'm looking now to see if there is a primary. I'm trying to look through our my notes here. If there is a primary, it will be, I think, June 30th. And then, or June 30th, and then the general will be July 30th. So that is for the special election.
And not a lot of time to campaign for that special election there, with it only being
right, and it's only the 4th CD.
Right.
And that consists of like kind of the east side of generally the east side of the Milwaukee, going up, and then Shorewood, Glendale. Um, I I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? 414-444-5250. I'm kind of at a loss, I guess, because this is uh, do we want representation for the 6 month, or is it just literally a waste of money? Because somebody now, granted, the two that have ran, who are trying to two as of now, who are running, they could win and then they can win again. Or it could be one of them and then they lose and they win it again. Or it could be somebody out of the blue who wins and then they lose again in the general for the full term. I think this is 100% chaotic.
And as well, being an elected official, it takes a few months to get in there and get acquainted with the position and learn all the ropes and do everything. So if someone's in there only for that short amount of time, they're not, they're still going to be in that learning kind of acquaintance phase, and not really be able to dig their teeth in and do anything for the constituents. Anything of substance, you're not going to have enough time unless you win that second election.
And Joe, you would know this because you have been a previous election. All right, I found the thing. The special election for the 4th CD will be held July 30th. And if a primary is needed, it will be held July 2nd. So that means, now let's do this timeline here. So let's just talk only about the special election. Starting today until July or June 3rd, you can collect signatures, which is 200 to 400 signatures to get on the ballot for the special election. If there is 3 or more people, we will have a primary, and it depends on if there's 3 or more people on the Democratic side or 3 or more people on the Republican side. There will be a special election, which a primary, which is July 2nd. Now, if there's just 2 people, no other parties or anything like that, or 1 from each party, that will be held on July 3rd. Then 15 days later, you're going to have to vote again on the person that you want to fill that full-time term. So somebody could technically win the 30th, but then have to, like, in the midst of this, still campaign for both seats, because that primary for that is August 13th. And if there's only, 2 people, then that general is in November. This is so confusing. 414-444-5250. Um, eh, what do you guys think? I'm a little annoyed by it personally. I mean, we already, strapped for money in the city doing stuff. This is just something that is just
And it might have been different if had the Senate and the House been in session right now.
Or if they would have called this a long time ago. What did she get this position in January? That they could have called it in February,
Right.
March, April. You're gonna wait until halfway through the year, and over half the year by the time somebody actually gets in.
Yeah.
So they get elected on the 3rd, and if they're, on the 30th, and they might be sworn in the next day. I'm not for sure how that works, or if they get a day to breathe or whatever. But even if they get, say they get sworn in on August 1st, August, September, October, November, that's like 6 months basically. And then possibly they get if that same person wins, they'll get reappointed, or not reappointed. They'll have to take their oath to get sworn in again for the full term. Or it could be somebody who is just going to be a senator for 6 months. I hope nobody runs for the special election.
Yeah.
That's what I hope. I hope nobody runs for the special election. It'll stay open. And then, that's just my thought. But it's not going to happen that way, and it's going to be a whole thing. And then there's other
Elections are
sneaky
expensive.
things. Yeah.
Elections are expensive to put on, so we have to ask ourselves: is that a good use of our funds?
We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back and talk about the ballot initiative and the AI company that possibly is going to be built in Racine instead of Foxconn. We'll be right back. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices.
It's 106.5 Milwaukee.
Yeah, Brian was working this morning.
Yeah, do a training this morning. Get our peoples out. We are mobilizing our people in the community. That's what we had to do a training on.
414-444-5250. I just make fun of Brian all the time.
She
So
does.
let me tell y'all, Brian has been trying to get into this software for like 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks at least.
It ain't my fault.
No, it is his fault. So I said, Brian, bring me your computer. Bring me your computer. And he brought it into the office. I click, did some stuff and got it working.
Yeah, and I never have those problems. Verification stuff is not my issue. I really had an issue. And I did the Google one too. She don't believe me. I can see it in your face yesterday when I was telling you, look, long as I solve some problems here and there, I'm cool. You just help me out. I appreciate it. And I gave you a nice big hug for that. So thank you.
And he gave me a little Mother's Day present, so I guess but it was so funny. All I heard was, when Snoopy on the Peanuts on that cartoon, when any adult talks, it's like wah, 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 wah. That's how I felt yesterday. I was like, wah, 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 wah.
Look, she showed her leader. She did the right leadership thing yesterday. That's what we got her for. She was supposed to help
whatever.
us with.
Okay, we got Joe Dre.
Yeah.
What you got for us? Because this is also important involving voting.
The ballot drop boxes has been kind of a hot issue lately. If you follow the news at all, you see that the Supreme Court has been hearing arguments this week on the ballot drop boxes. We don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, I don't think quite yet, but it does indicate they have indicated that they're going to support that. So we're going to be anxiously awaiting their decision here shortly and find out if we can bring those back, which is, as we know, gives folks more access to voting and more access to have their voice heard.
It just makes it easier to return your ballot. But
yeah,
the one thing that is, what is the most important thing to do if you're going to vote or if you want to vote?
Is there everybody?
Yeah.
Making sure that my identification is up to date is one of the biggest. Okay.
Register.
All right, I'm wrong.
Register.
Well, register. Okay. Well, that's part of the
no, because it don't matter if you don't want to register and your identification is up to date, but you still don't register.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around register.
Oh yeah, of course.
You can figure out we would prefer people to vote.
And also, this is a great time in Wisconsin right now. I can tell you, as someone who's recently registered to vote, you can do the online registration right now.
You have to do it online.
And then we have that blackout period there between, before
20 days before. Now here, I wonder how this is going to work with the special election. Are the people in the 4th CD not going to be able to register to vote in those 20 days before the election? I think that is a question we have to ask our election commission to see, because they might not be able to register. And is there going to be early voting for this in this CD?
Right.
There's a lot of questions to be asked. Oh, we got to get on that and figure it out, because I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about ballot boxes? 414-444-5250. I don't know. I'm still just enthralled with this special election. Brian.
Yeah.
Let's talk about AI.
Well, we just had some good info being dropped locally for the state of Wisconsin and southeastern Wisconsin. It looks like they're going to be using that Foxconn, that failed Foxconn project from the last administration. It looks like that area will be used now for a $3.3 billion AI data center that will, they pretty much jabbed the last administration with this move, and even some of their comments made about the visit that day was a little like, okay, y'all, it sounded like
the golden shovels,
right? Yeah, it sounded like a little Drake and Kendrick Lamar between administrations. But
oh no, it didn't go that deep. Yeah. This might be like a Megan and Nikki kind of beef, not a
between the two administrations.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, it's not that hardcore yet.
Yeah, hey, Megan and Nikki could get serious too. But last week Wednesday, President Joe Biden announced that Microsoft is investing $3.3 million into a AI data center, which is expected to create, it looks like, over 2,300 jobs in the Racine, Wisconsin area. So this right here was pretty much decided because of the Foxconn facility that was that Taiwan-based electronics facility. They had invested that $10 billion into there, and the former president Donald Trump had quote unquote said this was going to be the eighth wonder of the world, but ultimately Foxconn had ditched that deal within that. So within this one, like I said, over 2,300 union jobs are expected to be made with this, which looking at over 2,000 full-time jobs for individuals that be on Microsoft's payroll. And what I liked about it also was not only could it be, individuals that are working through unions and working through full-time jobs at Microsoft, but it also can pour over into the communities around where contracts and services that are needed for the data center, for other tech organizations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. So what I like about that is that they're going to be opening up, a gateway at Gateway Technical College is going to be opening up like boot camps and different services towards businesses, so they can get into learning more about the AI and how it can be beneficial for their organizations, which I like.
And they're using the tech schools around, right? You said,
yeah.
So that'll be MATC, WCTC.
I think I seen UWM system in there as well, one of the UW schools, which I like as well. So anytime anything can kind of pour into Milwaukee, it's so close, and that's gonna open up doors for more AI here. I mean, we right on the water. They use water a lot to cool big computer systems. Why not have more AI influenced systems start flowing through Milwaukee, and starting racing and build ups. I love the idea that Wisconsin be like a tech hub for AI, starting off with this big data center. And I think that's going to be important to not only Racine but to Milwaukee County as well, because there'll be a lot of people that will be interested in going down there for work.
And just Racine County, Milwaukee County, but also the state of Wisconsin. All right. I'm gonna bring this up because this is all civic engagement, but I have been torn. Did anybody? I don't know if any of y'all watch TikToks.
I watch the ones you send me.
I do not send you any TikToks. I usually send Brian the ones about the Nissan female drivers.
Oh yeah,
because I drive a Nissan.
So. I had a Nissan female driver challenging me on the road this morning. But she was a Nissan Rogue. She wasn't in the car though, and I was like, "Oh, still a Nissan."
It's a Nissan. But there was a video that went viral. It was a male teacher who he kids in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they love their teachers. And it was a male teacher who said he had to go get his hair braided that night,
last minute,
and he said a last minute thing, and he said, if y'all do all your work, y'all he told the kids that he had to get his hair taken down, but then they said, oh, we'll do it. They love their teacher. So he said, if y'all get all your work done, get some get passes from the other teacher, y'all can take my hair down. And I watched the video of him getting his hair taken down, and there were some people who were like, those little girls cannot be doing that to him. And then some people were like, what is this? This is a good teacher. He just letting them do it because so many kids, do hair and play. And it was going back and forth. And the teacher got fired. He eventually got fired. This is Tamika Vukovic's opinion, not of Wisconsin Voices or anybody that's affiliated with this. There are people in the world who do wrong to little girls. There are people that you have to watch that groom little girls. In my opinion, for this particular thing, this man was just being a teacher. I can't, and this is just my opinion, but I watched what he was doing. As he was letting him his hair down, he literally was messing with his computer. He was doing something else. He wasn't even really engaging with them. And this is the problem that I have when I talked about the other day where my nephew peed in the sandbox or whatever at school because he really just had to go to the bathroom. and I made sure that the teacher didn't sexualize childlike behavior, did we sexualize little girls wanting to just play with hair?
Yeah, they did, because a lot of the
Well, it depends, because this is everybody's situation. He had no record of anything. He is a fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade, or fifth, sixth grade teacher. How Jermaine, you ready to jump over this? Go ahead.
Before I answer this is just my opinion. I'm gonna ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you. Do any one of you have daughters?
Mm-hmm.
You have a daughter?
Yep. No, I just got 2 little sisters.
You got 2 little sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You got a grown sister. Okay. Coming from a dad point of view, and this is just from a dad point of view. I have a 26-year-old daughter that I raised. I was in her life since day one.
So
you have to be very careful with this one, because it's a thin line. Because first of all, you never know what a person is thinking. That's one. You don't know if he, and I'm not saying that that's the case, but again, it's a thin line. School is for school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, if I would have walked in and saw my daughter playing in the teacher's hair, I would have felt some kind of way.
If it was a female teacher, would you feel it the same way?
If it was a female teacher,
I still think it'd be weird.
Yeah, it's still weird to me because it's in school.
But I have a question. It's the end of the day. It's the last 10 minutes.
I understand that.
You know what? And I hear what you're saying, because I have a daughter.
Yeah.
And this is, Jada is my heart.
Yeah.
But I've also watched her, like some of my husband's friends who are her uncles, they have long hair. She has put them in ponytails and kept going.
No, I don't understand that.
And this man, I feel this is, as I watched this video, I really watched it. I think I watched it like 10 times. And I really was looking at his facial expressions. I went back and looked at some of his other video that he did, with his classrooms. He never, in all his videos that I saw, I never saw him paying, and this is just the video, so I don't know what he's like, didn't pay any special attention to girls versus boys. Right. The boys did some stuff with him, just them, and I think they built something, and I saw one of those videos. Girls are more into hair, so I get that. Right. And I understand you fathers, but are we sexualizing something that is just natural because they wanted to help them?
But is it natural?
I was reading the comments.
Yeah. Do you know, I remember my daughter going into her dad's hair, wanting to play with my brother's braids, wanting to play with the brother braids. They're friends, like they have long.
See, when I say natural, I'm saying natural for the school environment.
That's what I was thinking. Depending on the school.
It's the school environment. And that's why I said it's a thin line, because if you tap dance on this line, you have to be very careful, because certain things is good for certain environments.
And I don't even buy that, because this was, like I said, this was the last 10 minutes of the day. I have seen videos where kids have come. Would you think that it was unnatural for one of the female kids to comb a little boy or little girl's hair? It's not in school, yeah. But there have been times where the kid was getting bullied, and it's just, these are all different circumstances, and we're not there. Right. And school, if we were really talking about school, and this is what you do in school.
It's just looking at it as a teacher just doing it. I think that's what it is. Some people, like some of the people that were sexualizing, probably are the people that, use the hair redoing or the touching up as on an intimate level. Some people might have been in situations, so a lot of people were seeing it from, I was reading comments like for a long time, and people seeing it from all different levels, like nothing wrong with it, and like you said, people in school used to always do hair, take down hair. I had braids and used to get my hair braided at school sometime, but I've never seen a teacher or a substitute, even a substitute teacher. I never seen this, and we used to have all types of young substitute teachers. I never seen them, comb my hair or brush my hair.
But this wasn't literally. If you listen to him, and he should have, maybe he should apologize or whatever, and said, this is not what my intent was.
Yeah.
But and he did double down. I get that, because, and I think I would have doubled down too, because literally he said, we got to hurry up, dude. I need to, he said in one of his videos that he had to like go, that this was a special thing, and we got to get everything right, because I got to leave right at this time, because I have to get my hair down, because I have to. It wasn't like something that he planned, and they were like, well, we'll do it if we good. And this is what he explains: if we're good, can we help you, we'll do all our homework and we'll do this. And he made a decision at that moment. Okay, fine, y'all do your work, y'all do this, we have the last 10 minutes, y'all can help me do this. Duh. It wasn't even like he was trying to plan it. And we have so many things where there are girls who are exploited, and those are girls who get sexually assaulted by their teachers. But there are also, is that in Milwaukee, or in Wisconsin, where the teacher was caught making out with a 5th grade male.
Yeah, on a trip with the family.
No, and she used to go on trips with the family, but she got caught in the classroom doing it. But nobody would eat. That is something that is real. And they had texts, and they had all these different things that were going on, and nobody suspected her. And it's way worse than anything this man did. And he's been their teacher for quite a while, and there's nothing showing that he did anything that was inappropriate. And it depends on how you look at this hair thing. But I just wish, I guess, I don't know. I think you have to take each thing for what it is, and judge it for each individual thing. For this particular thing, and I'm not talking about everybody, I might see another video of that same exact situation and know in your heart that this is not right.
Yeah.
I guess that is what I'm saying. I'm torn. I mean, I'm really torn. I understand and I don't want to down anybody for thinking that, but it's just like, I am literally torn, because the people who say this don't happen in school, please. I've seen, I worked in the school district for the school district as a elected, and I used to go in the school at least 3 to 4 times a month, and sometimes more, just going in, hanging out with the kids. I would see that happen in the boy, like what you said, Brian, sorry, when they were taking your hair down. I've seen that in the high school. I have seen where teachers say, I will help you take your hair down, and the girls are taking their braids down, and the teacher actually helping. I've seen a teacher actually help a male student. He's like, I'm supposed to get my hair. He was upset, and she's like, I'll help you take it down during lunch.
Yeah, it's a new age of teachers too, because I had like the older 40 to 50-year-old majority white women. Only had 2 black teachers throughout that Glendale school district, and at least of one of them for sure. And so we wouldn't have had it. Now you got these younger teachers that are millennials, and some now Gen Zs in some schools, and they they're all into the hair, and some of them are only 10 years older than some of their students sometimes.
Yeah. So my question to you is, do you think that the uproar is because it was during school hours and during class, or do you just think it was because it was
a male teacher? It's a male teacher, and I don't think it was during school. I mean, that's for me, that's what people are trying to get. Oh no, it's school hours, dude. It was. Have you ever had a school day? And this happened a lot, at least in short, where there was 10-15 minutes at the end of the day, downtime, and everybody just like chilled, talking to that bell ring. That is when this time happened. And it wasn't like he stopped everything in the middle of the school day to, okay, everybody take my hair down. And then this was literally
So
10,
it's free
15
time.
minutes at the end of the school where he said, if you get all your work done, if you get all this stuff done, then you can help me. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you can't help me.
So it was more like
it was like a reward.
It was more like a motivational thing, you know. Get
more
your
of a
homework
reward.
done.
You did everything you had
You
to
did
do.
everything
Y'all
you
want to
did.
help me with my hair.
Yeah.
But I get what people are saying, because we do have groomers out there. We do have but I talk to one of the things I'm wanting, how do we safeguard our girls and still not demonize our boys? Because I was talking to my best friend one day, and we were talking about how Cat Williams had adopted a bunch of kids. You know, he had a couple, and then he adopted a bunch of kids, and he puts them through school. You don't really talk about it. And she's like, I don't understand. I don't know. Why did he need to have all these kids? Well, he talks about having a hard upbringing, wanting to, give some kind of relief to the kids that he could help. Nah, and she literally said, nah, he up to something because of that. And I felt so sad, because men can't show empathy. They can't show love, especially black men and black little boys, without it being sexualized.
That is true.
Yeah. But you also have to watch it, because so many things have happened. But it's not just black men. Why is it that black men get this stare? White men do this as well. I mean, they have been, but you don't feel as uneasy. And I bet you any money, if that had been a white male and he had, long braids or something like that, and the kids were taking it down, it wouldn't have been. Think about it. You remember that movie? And I think, I can't remember what it was. Samuel L. Jackson was in it, and they had accused him of hurting a little girl. And they, the whole jury was in Matthew McConaughey was in this movie, and he's like, close your eyes. And he talked about all the horrible things that happened to this little girl. And they were still just kind of sitting there. And he's like, now, and this little girl was raped, beaten, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden he says, now imagine this little girl was white. And then all of a sudden the tables turned, because it was a black little girl. It was okay. It was, I don't believe it. But then if this was a white little girl, it was a time to kill, I think it was, or something like that. But then all of a sudden you change it into a different perspective of who the victim is, who the perpetrator is, who's all that. All of a sudden that changes your whole thought process.
Yeah.
And this is what our society, this is what we have done. And I know this is a little bit off topic for Wisconsin Voices, but this actually does make a difference. How do we, again, I keep telling you, when I saw that little boy get taken from he got taken from his foster family, just because he pulled this little girl's pants down, and it wasn't sexual, it was just playing. But then he was marked as a pre-sexual predator at the age of 5 and 6. Why do we look at, and we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to how our girls are looking. But we also can watch. I don't know what the issue is. I don't have all the right answers or the wrong answers. Sometimes I feel black men get a bad rap, but then you have to watch the black, where's the line at, I guess.
That's a good question. That's why it's a thin line.
But we have to talk about it. Caller, go ahead, and don't yell at me if you don't agree. This was just an opinion. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
By the way, I just want to say good morning to you. What's your name again?
I'm Tamika.
Tamika. And last name?
Oh, my name's Tamika Vukovic. I'm the co-executive director of Wisconsin Voices.
Yes. Thank you for being there, dear.
Thank you. You're welcome. I just, what do you, are you there? Oh, well, call back if you have a question or concern. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for taking my call. Assalamu alaikum to you all. I should always give the greetings.
That's our
The pre
special. That's our special
Dion to
guest.
you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not special. Allah is special. But thank you. You all just talking about our little girls or our daughters, I think in particular, right? Or our young children, our babies, right?
Say
And
what you
them
have to
being,
say before I say yes. I don't know what you're asking.
well, you were speaking about the sexualization of black children and how it may be over expressed when it comes to black men, I think.
I
But
I I'm just asking the question because, and I'll clarify. Sometimes, especially when it comes to black boys, childlike behavior is sexualized.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm not on my call is not motivated to be to the contrary. I was listening and I heard the brother speaking about his daughters, or you all were talking about daughters. And I know this, and I do understand this, that when it comes to our children overall, baby boys and baby girls, that we should be extra sensitive to the environments and to the people that they are exposed to. The primary reason why our people are our boys, most definitely, are made to look like predators at a young age is to criminalize them. And it is a part of the process to feed the uh, prison industrial complex. Our people have been made in, we have never not been commodities. There are private prisons throughout the United States that need inhabitants, or they need people to fill those hotel cells, as they might be considered, because the prison industrial complex is on it's on it's on Wall Street. You can buy stock into these things. But again, when it comes to our daughters, our little girls, we really, 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 in my opinion, we should be we should be microscopic in our analysis as to who that they can potentially be exposed to, because some of our children have been so traumatized by somebody or somehow that they have been actually actualized or activated, and they themselves become the person that has traumatized them, and then they go out into the community, and it may be unnoticed, or it may not be uncovered. It's very stealthy.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%
Thank
that
you. Thank you.
this is something that as parents we have to take responsibility for. And look, no parent can be there all the time. You I guess I don't know what the answer is. I'm not trying to say that I know all the answers. I don't know. I mean, there are things that I have missed, in raising my daughter, and I'm going to go, oh, I wish I would have saw it. But I just don't want to traumatize some of these little boys and girls on something that you can also have a trauma or traumatic experience just by being accused.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or having it happen so often or so many times that you believe what is being said about you. Right. So this is not one of those discussions where I am blaming anybody. I'm not saying, this is just my opinion, and I actually feel there are people who are going out, he should have just apologized. Okay, maybe he should have apologized. He just was, trying to do some end of the day activity,
It just comes out professionalism.
but
That's it. I
but
mean,
why is it if a but see, this is where there's such a double standard, and this is where I'll go in.
what?
Literally, if that was a woman teacher,
I still would think it was
No,
unprofessional. Yes,
I don't think you would have had it. I'm not saying I should know what it is, but I don't think it would have been as big. You might have been like, yeah, that's kind of unprofessional. But right now, that's not about what is going on. They have sexualized it, saying that he shouldn't be doing this. If there was a difference, if they said, okay, you shouldn't be, school is for school, and that's that. Nobody's really saying that. They're really saying that and if you read a lot of you said you read a lot of comments, aren't a lot of those comments people who are saying, you know what? He shouldn't be playing in anybody's hair. Little girl shouldn't be playing in the man's hair. It's very few talking about the professionalism of it all. But sometimes that little thing can make or break a kid's
and it also depends on which social media environment seeing it. Some of the responses are from people who don't have probably the strongest intellectual capacity to respond properly. And then you got some that are real professionals, doctors and teachers that are responding to that are saying that it's unprofessional. It just depends on which outlet you see it on.
We got one caller. You got about 1 minute. Let's hear what you got to say.
Yes, I think that was very unprofessional.
Can you turn your radio down, please?
And off
a speakerphone so we can hear you. All right, she's gonna turn it down.
Can you hear me now?
And then take it off speaker.
It's not on.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
So I think that was very unprofessional of the teacher. Number one, that was a school, and that shouldn't have been done in the school. And you shouldn't have kids playing in your hair. He could have had his hair taken down by somebody else, not the kid.
Mm-hmm. And that could be. I'm not saying that what he did was 100% right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what he did was 100% wrong. What I'm saying is, I think we need to look at why this man has lost his job now. And from what I understand, from what I understand from the kids and some of the other articles, he was a really good teacher, and the kids loved him.
So my question is, who filmed it?
He did. He did it. He was just showing. He literally put the show in.
Exactly. He put himself. He
put it in there just because.
I don't think he should have been suspended. I think
he got fired.
Talked to about. I don't think he should have been fired. But that was very wrong for him to have those kids.
And he got a little fan base. He's trying to show off for his little fan base too. So he got a little fan base.
So he was doing it for the gram.
Yeah, doing it for the TikTok or whatever.
He was just doing a TikTok because he does do a lot of things about what he teaches and what he does in his classroom. We are done. This is gonna be a thing that we can keep talking about forever. Thank you. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. We almost went over the time. We will talk to you on Friday.
Have a good week.